Hey Centroid users, I thought I'd share with you a cool little script that I came up with. So I've got a tool measure system on my Shotbot here, where essentially I use this fixed touch-off plate here to measure my bits. Now the touch-off plate is a little bit above the spoil board, and the distance between the top of this touch-off plate and the spoil board changes every time I resurface or replace the spoil board. And so I've got a little script that can measure the difference in height between this spoil board and the top of that plate for an accurate measurement. And the tool that I use for that is this little touch-off plate. So this is a normally open touch-off plate. And so what happens is you run the routine, and the spindle comes down, taps onto the plate, knows the thickness of the plate, and then it goes over and it taps on the tool touch-off and records the difference between the two as a permanent value. Now the problem with these touch-off plates is these are normally open, so it actually just grounds through the spindle, completes a circuit, so you get a reading. And what's happened to me before is sometimes you get internal breaks in these wires and the switch doesn't read, and you don't know until this thing comes down and hits this plate. Not a major thing in this case. I mean, you could maybe chip a bit if it, beat on there, but if you had some delicate material or something, you certainly wouldn't want, this to come smashing down on your plate. And it's also a little bit tedious to go into the input menu and check every time if you're paranoid about it to make sure that this works. So I came up with a little solution for this, and is essentially using this code in Centroid. So I've got this plate wired into input 1. And I use this little line of code here, M101, essentially waits for open input to be closed, and that input is number 1, so 50001, and this waits for me to touch that plate to that bit to start the routine. So I'll show it to you in practice here. So basically, you run the routine, and it comes up and it says, drive the machine over to where you want to zero out. And so we'll kind of drive the machine over. Let's say we want to, zero over here. Say that's a good spot in our table, so we're going to go there. I'll just bring the pendant over with me. So once we get it there, we press cycle start, and now it's waiting because of that command for me to touch this plate to this bit. And if this plate is functioning, as in the wire is not broken, it'll get a reading. So I just touch it to the plate, pauses for a second, and the zeroing routine starts. And because I know that this made contact, the rest of the zeroing routine isn't going to work. If I tapped it to this bit and it didn't start to move, I would know to go check to make sure that my plate is working. So I'm just going to stop this. But that's how it works. So neat little trick if you guys are making zeroing plates.